All right, we're back. I know, it was that simple, right?
Wow, that was really fast.
Oh, I know. It was really that simple. Okay. So I'm going to break it down for you guys. I'm going to spill my guts now. My name is Tyler Rogers, by the way. I've put up flyers everywhere in the school. Really trying to push this idea.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, if you do miss the talk show, I will be putting the episodes up on the WGLZ Facebook, so you can catch the episodes and things like that and listen to it, and hopefully we get more response. And by the way, like us on Facebook too.
Yeah,
I know that's trendy to say.
that definitely helps us, though.
Yeah. I'll be real with you guys. I'm the PR director, so I really want to try to get this station a lot of good feedback and
right.
Get it pushing the name out there. So yeah, we'll start with me. Well, end with me, I guess. My mom and my dad were not really that religious. I was introduced to the Christian faith through a friend of mine growing up, and at first I guess I bought into it when I was young, and I would go to church. I would go to Sunday school and things like that. I felt the same way you did. I felt like I was a little kid. We both were.
Right.
His mom would make us kind of both go, but we both seriously wanted to play.
Right, right.
We didn't have to wake. We didn't want to wake up at 9 in the morning and go to church. We wanted to play our video games. We wanted to play, with our action figures and stuff like that. We wanted to be young kids doing things like that. But we went. And we got pretty involved with it. We both became acolytes at one time. And if you don't know what that is the guy who walks up and lights the candles and then takes it down at the end.
Right.
But yeah, we would go. And I remember at the time, I really felt like you did. I felt like I was bored. Really, I did.
Yeah.
My mind was on I don't know, the last Power Rangers episode that just aired, or or Transformers episode or something like that. So I kind of felt like I would be tuning out a lot. I wouldn't be into it. It's not that I didn't believe, it's that I just kind of just felt like I was a little kid and this is boring, I guess.
Right.
But it did latch on to me, and it did have a lasting impact, and I think that it'll have an impact to the day I die, because I know that when I die, I think about it all the time. When I'm on my deathbed, I know in my soul that for whatever this all means, that I will say a prayer to the spirit of life, whatever that means. You're going to have to kind of go with your emotions on that. Don't think logically. I don't know what that means logically, okay? But you're going to have to go with your feelings on that. And I know that I will pray to the spirit of life for my existence before I would pass away. So I know whatever that means, I still have that faith, if you will, so that it'll go with me till the day I die. But yeah, so we would go to church, and we felt kind of bored. And then I guess I started having my doubts, I don't know, right around 13, stuff like that. I started going through the motions. I was going through a lot of motions then. I was a pretty rebellious kid, but and then I got pretty back into it. I kind of got inspired again, and I went with other friends. That's what happened. And we went to a good church. And it's I was older and I was more into it. I guess I would open my mind. I would pay attention. Okay, let me say it like that.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't pay attention when I was young.
Yeah.
But when I got a little older, I started actually listening.
Right.
And it was it was a pretty contemporary church. They had modern kind of Christian rock that would come in.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't sort of the old boring. It was more, I don't know, modernized. More, it appeals to a modern crowd and stuff like that.
It's more upbeat.
Yeah, it was definitely more upbeat.
Okay.
And the pastor would really get real. It wasn't so much just praise God, blah 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 blah, here's a story. I mean, the guy would break it down for who he is. He would speak real. He honestly would speak real. He would talk about how he was an alcoholic at one point. He was about to lose his wife and all this stuff like that. He would really make that connection with his audience, and I felt like a part of that. So I feel like that church really did speak to me, for the first time, to the soul, if you will. Really got me there, and I think that left an impact on me, and I still want to go back and just kind of re-evaluate it again from where I am right now, but yeah, so that's where it really first started with me, and that had an impact. And then I moved away to Maryland for a little bit, and then I eventually kind of came out of that, I'll admit it, after a breakup with a girl. But that's whenever things really started to hit rock bottom for me. I think a lot of things came crashing down. When I moved away, life was pretty good. And then when I got I went to Europe for a little bit, and I came back, and then things just really crashed big time for my life, I think. I still like had a decent job and had like a place to live, but a lot of my foundation was crumbling, I guess. My parents were getting split up, my girlfriend was gone, and like all these things were happening to me. I had to move out of my house, move within a family. I was working outside in the freezing cold during the winter. It was just a lot right out of high school for me to just kind of, I guess, take on with the world. And I know there are worse people out there, but I mean, I guess for what I've experienced in my life, that was a big whoa moment, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's whenever I really started to get real with myself, because I've noticed in the past when I had like a stronger faith in the Christian God that I would feel hypocritical about things. I would do things that contradicted my religion, and I knew that, and I would feel guilty about that in my own head, and I knew it. I would avoid that thought, though. It's like to the world, I would be that you would think of, righteous in faith, if you will. But it's like in myself, I knew I wasn't being real. I knew I was like contradicting my religion. I was sinning,
Yeah.
And I would create excuses for myself, or I would, try to avoid that thought and push it away. And I was just kept hiding. I was insecure. I was really insecure. And then it took to a point where I just really just isolated myself. Like, really kind of when I came... It started when I was in Maryland. It really started happening there, a lot of it. But a lot of it happened when I first came to West Liberty. And I was pretty cool at first. I was like, hey, I'm new at school and playing guitar and stuff like that. And then things started kind of picking up in school, and I just disappeared for a semester. I just disappeared, and I wouldn't talk to people. I'd want to go eat by myself. I wouldn't want to just socialize at all. And I got awkward. I got really awkward in social situations to where I would look into the social situation so much to where I'm like, okay, are we making enough eye contact? Can I feel the synergy between us? Where are my hands? Where are their hands? What's their body language really saying right now? Are they thinking into it as much as me, or am I crazy? And this is what I'm thinking whenever I'm having the conversation. And I started getting really awkward, and I was going through a lot. I mean, you were there for a lot of it too. You even like helped me with some things, but really that isolation was tough. That was like the staring into the abyss, as I say. And it was very hard, very, very hard, incredibly hard to face all of my fears, to face, I went and saw a counselor for a little bit, just to face everything, I guess. And that's whenever I just stopped being insecure. I stopped hiding from myself and really just got real. And I really, it's like part of me always kind of knew the doubt, of the faith. Part of me always knew that doubt, but I would ignore it, I'd push it away, and then now I just open myself to it entirely. And I didn't open it to the point where, well, actually I kind of did. I felt like I went atheist there for a little bit. It kind of bounced back a little bit. I'll get into that later, but it really changed me. Like, where I was before that abyss and then where I am now after, I got dark. I still feel like I'm dark. I talked to our friend Gabe. He says my ambiance is gray or whatever. Like, I guess people give off an ambiance. It's like gray. And I'll say a lot of things that are pretty dark side. I know that's a Star Wars reference, but in the context, I hope you understand that I'll say a lot of things that are pretty evil. And I'm not saying it because I'm evil, but that I'm trying to make a point in what I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to like be an evil guy here, but I'm using this evil reference or an example to make a point, on a particular things or issues. So, the whole abyss thing really changed me. And since I've come out of that, I know in my soul I'm a good, genuine guy, a genuine human being, and I have my flaws like everyone else. But there is like this presence now of sort of understanding, and I open my mind to a lot of points of view, a lot of unfashionable and unpopular points of view in the world. And I wasn't prejudiced in the points of view I opened my mind to. I opened my mind to all points of view because I wanted to pursue the truth. And I would always say to myself that, okay, for whatever this all means, I just want the truth. Okay? I probably won't ever get it. People have been trying since the dawn of time. But I want to get as close to that truth as I can. I want to get to pursue that with the utmost honesty of my soul, and I would just, I just would just get out of that whole lying to myself thing, and I came back from that and just got real with myself, and I guess at that point I really just started to think, like, who am I, like you were saying, and like what were you going through, and like and what do I believe about things and things like that. So and I realized that I am a genuine guy, but then I've in my mind all these points of view. I feel like I'm losing myself right now, but long story short, I came to where I am right now, and my views on the world right now are that I don't know what's going on. I've realized I'm nuts, and I've realized everyone's crazy. Not like, okay, the world's crazy, there's wars, people are fighting. Not that crazy. Like, you're crazy in your own head, man. Like, close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes, and anyone who's listening, try it. If you're not distracting yourself watching the TV, close your eyes and just try to forget everything. You can't do it. You can't unlearn a language. You can't unlearn, how to read. You can't unlearn what a tree looks like or what people look like. But try to like wipe that away for a minute and open your eyes and look at this world with these honest, innocent eyes and take that in. Take that in. And we are in such an alien environment. We're in such a bizarre place. We are, with all the things that are occurring, the things that we take for granted. Mm-hmm. That we take for granted that a tree's grown out of the ground. We take for granted that there's this yellow circle that arises up in the morning and sets at night, whatever that means. We take all this for granted. We're used to seeing everything. Okay? So if you could try to wipe that away for a minute and look at this world with some innocent eyes and take that in, you'll realize how crazy you are and how crazy we all are. That's why we're all fighting about stuff, because we don't know what to make of this place. That's why we have all these different religions, I would suppose, because we don't know what the heck is going on, so we make stuff up to try to make sense of the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, you got to try to understand the mind from a primitive person. Back in the times of ancient Egypt or Greece, or even prehistory, trying to make sense of the world before we had the scientific method, a formula to try to prove facts or truths of the natural world. You got to think back before we understood or even had the ability to question these kinds of things and trying to explain the natural. It's only natural. You know what? If I didn't have the ability to think and I didn't know about the scientific method, I'd be saying, yeah, that's probably an unimaginable being doing something with an earthquake or a tropical storm or whatever.
Right.
Making stuff up, really. And I think that would catch on. It's catchy. It's easy to buy into. It explains the world.
Right.
And I think that it's something that I think is a good way to really look at things, because when you do that and you look at the world with those innocent eyes, you just really get an appreciation for everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I really think that the most interesting, I know I'm like jumping around, but I mean, I really think like the most interesting, subject in the world is philosophy, because that is really the foundation upon all other subjects. All other subjects were born out of questioning our world. Questioning what, I could not even imagine what the first man who it dawned on that, whoa, like to realize that a pattern of like the day or something like that, or to realize a pattern of seasons. We take that for granted too. Oh, it's getting winter. Oh, it's getting fall. Right. Isn't that weird, guys? That's strange.
It is.
What's that mean? What does that mean? I don't know.
Right. And I completely agree with what you're saying. I like how you're saying that. Philosophy definitely sprouted out. Everything's a little more sprouted out below philosophy.
Yeah.
We're even go all the way down to just physics in general.
Yeah.
Why do things do what they do? Why do they move? And down to like their bare core, their bare atoms. All molecules, everything. It pertains to physics, and that even grows. To people, and then people grow into more people, like social. Psychology, and it all grows up. To philosophy.
Yeah.
So it's definitely. I definitely think that's a big thing to make people even wonder, like, wow, you know, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
that's a big question.
Exactly.
And I feel like you were saying, you know, people don't think about that.
Yeah.
They don't take.
They
the
avoid
time.
it. They're afraid. They're afraid. It's only natural, and it is scary. It is. Probably some people are thinking we're weird and nuts or just plain stupid. But I mean, really, that's like the truth. And I feel like that's if people started doing that, I really feel like this world will start becoming a lot better. It's reason, you know. It's the thought process of critical thinking and reason that needs to really be emphasized. And I know we do that in the education system, but I don't think anyone ever like says it like that.
No
one ever
does.
just says, "Guys, we're used to seeing the sky." No one ever says that in the classroom. No one ever says it like that. Oh, all I ever hear is like, "Oh, I just found that really interesting that, you know, this kind of happens." They never just say, "Here's why it's really interesting," and just connect like that.
Exactly. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we're not cavemen anymore. You know, we really are. We really have, you know, the ability to think beyond things. You know, and I feel like a lot of people should use that ability to really think beyond things, because people like we were talking to our last show, they go day to day, you know, especially, you know, like the kids on campus, they go day to day. So I know we have to go to a short PSA break, but we'll definitely be back.
Yeah, we'll be right back, guys.
Do not touch that dial.
Do not touch it, man. We're spilling our guts. Get some 91.5 WGLZ.
You're listening to the new 91.5 WGLZ West.